Your birth month equals where you have to stay for a week. January. The underground lake. You are in a small boat on a lake inside of a massive cave. It is always dark and cold here. However, you have a flashlight with a long battery life. Food here is very hard to obtain. There is a backpack full of food and supplies floating somewhere on the water if you can find it. Sleeping is slightly uncomfortable. You can only lie inside the boat for rest. There is a man that lives in the water. If he senses your presence, he will stalk you. He will swim closer and closer to you every minute. If you see him, shine your flashlight on him to keep him away. Do not let him get close. February. The playhouse. This place makes you feel like a kid. You can freely roam around in the tunnels and go down the slides. There are snacks that will occasionally spawn throughout the area. However, resting may be difficult because there is no comfortable place to lie down. The lights will shut off at 11 p.m. every night and turn back on at 10 a.m. When the lights shut off, a small child will appear and start playing. They will be chasing you through the play structure. However, they are not chasing you to have fun. They want you gone. They have a knife. Every night the child gets slightly stronger and faster. Avoid them at all costs. March. The empty city. Everyone is completely gone. There is nobody else. You can freely explore the entire city and all of the buildings. However, there is no electricity, which means there is no light inside any of the buildings. Although the city seems intriguing, you must stay alert. There are 3 people dressed in all black. They are constantly searching for you. If you see one of them, hide. You don't want to know what happens if they find you. April. The dark lands. It is always dark. You cannot see anything here. If you find a tree, sometimes there will be a flashlight, but even with the flashlight, you still cannot see past 50 feet. Food is surprisingly easy to obtain. At every tree you find, there will be some kind of snack. However, sleeping here is not easy. You only have the cold ground for rest. If you see something in the darkness ahead, such as an odd shape or the outline of a person, immediately run in the opposite direction. May. The submersible. You are deep under the ocean in a submersible. There is a glass window, but you can't see anything outside of it unless you shine a light through. There is a bed for sleeping and a small fridge with snacks inside. If you hear an indescribable humming noise coming from outside the submersible, turn the sub in the opposite direction of the noise and hope that you are safe. If you look out the window and see a large eye staring back at you, accept your fate. June. The cozy cabin. It is very comfortable here. There's a nice couch, a PlayStation, plenty of food, Wi-Fi, and even a hot tub on the back deck. You are 100% safe here. July. The cornfield. The cornfield stretches for miles. It is uncomfortable here. There are no places to rest except the ground. However, there is plenty of corn to eat. The sky is always cloudy or dark. Sometimes it rains. If you hear rustling or see movement in the corn near you, duck and hide in the corn. There is an unknown humanoid-looking creature that will occasionally walk through the cornfields. It is incredibly hostile. You do not want to see it. It is horrifying. August. The abandoned farm. This farm was once thriving, but now it's deserted. Everything was left behind. You can find old cans of food inside the kitchen cabinets and a nice old bed on the second floor. For some reason, the home makes you feel slightly uneasy. If you see a horse somewhere in the field, do not go near it. Stay inside and lock the doors. And if you hear a horse inside the home, go to the nearest room, lock the door, and hide. Something is wrong with the horse. It isn't right. It's best to stay hidden until it leaves. September. The misty forest. The forest is always misty. It never changes. It is slightly cold here, staying between 50 to 60 degrees. Food is hard to find. However, there is an apple tree somewhere in the forest, along with bushes that grow fruit if you can find them. Sleeping here is somewhat difficult. The only thing you have is the thick grass to rest on, but sometimes it is comfortable. You are safe here. However, do not swim in the pond. Something lives in there that does not like to be disturbed. October. The fake world. Everything here is fake. The grass is fake, the sky is fake, even some of the food inside the homes is fake. If you walk into the homes, you will see fake dogs, cats, and even people all made of wax. All the homes contain beds and couches to sleep on. There is one home with no wax figures inside. That is your home. However, you can freely explore all the other houses. If you are exploring another home, and you catch one of the wax figures staring directly at you, immediately go back to your home and lock the door. Do not go back out. November. The security room. You are in a room that monitors the security cameras for a daycare. Inside the security room, there is a fridge with snacks and a comfortable chair for rest. Every day at exactly 4 p.m., children will come and play in the daycare for an hour. You will see them on the cameras. If you are watching the cameras and see one of the children standing directly outside your room, staring into the camera with no expression, something has gone terribly wrong. Immediately lock the door and put a chair in front of it. December. The maze. You are inside of a giant maze. The maze stretches for miles upon miles. There are tall stone walls on each side of you. You are outdoors, so sometimes it will rain. In the maze, you will sometimes come across treasure chests. Most of them will contain food, but sometimes they will contain coins, valuables, and even a flashlight. Sleeping here isn't very difficult as long as you are able to find a comfortable patch of grass to lie on. In the maze, you may come across an entrance to a cave. It is advised that you do not enter. It is unknown what is down there. However, if you believe you are brave enough to explore, then go safely with a flashlight.